statements are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Straight ahead tonight, the FNM accusing the government of annoying Grand Bahama. This as the cabinet lands on the island for a cabinet meeting and a number of signings, we are told. Also, independent candidate McAlpine in Grand Bahama announces his bid. And when will Dr. Minnis announce he's running as an independent? We're going to talk about all that this evening. It's all straight ahead for you. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is accusing the government of election-driven maneuvers ahead of Prime Minister Philip Davis's and his cabinet's visit to Grand Bahama. Of course, many of them went yesterday, many went today. Pintard held a news conference on the island yesterday, asserting that while the administration reportedly plans to announce progress on Grand Bahama and the projects in the pipeline, from his view, everyday issues facing Grand Bahamians are being neglected, and key initiatives that could boost the local economy are being put on the back burner.
Behind this building are real people, workers who missed paychecks, families who fell behind on rent and light bill, men and women who did everything right, showed up to work, but were left in limbo while the government drags its feet and refuses to tell the truth. The Prime Minister is scheduled to deliver an address here in Grand Bahama this week, and we all know why. A general election is coming. The Grand Lucayan has stalled, the airport has stalled, and nothing meaningful has moved in Grand Bahama. People have been left to wonder what is really going on. Now suddenly, we are supposed to believe that the speech he will deliver, like the party he had here announcing the heads of agreement signing, we are supposed to believe that this is a measure of progress. A speech is not progress. A press event for the PLP is not progress. A cabinet trip alone is not progress. Progress is jobs. Progress is investment. Investments you can see and feel.
Well, there you have opposition leader Michael Pintard, who is also a Grand Bahama member of parliament, say, listen, enough talk. Get busy, get moving, let some tangible things and efforts and progress be in place by this administration. Then you can come there and flex on the island of Grand Bahama. Well, what does my Hot Topics panel have to say or has to say about this? A lot is happening. I've seen videos coming out of Grand Bahama all afternoon with the delegation landing there. But we're gonna get into this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors Leslie Miller, Peggy Candace, and Howard Johnson. Good evening to all of you. It's good to have you all here.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me.
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening once again to all of you. Listen, you all heard the opposition leader, who is also Marco City MP, Michael Pintard, says enough of this showboating. Enough of this showboating. All of y'all on Grand Bahama, for what purposes exactly? Put some action and some meat behind your words. Your thoughts on what he had to say today? Well, actually yesterday, and we are now looking at it this evening.
Shanique, you know, Michael Pintard is known for using plenty words. For him to say enough for the talk, we need to know what your plans are. We need for you to start talking. You're pointing, you're complaining, you're begging for sympathy with your words, you're trying to stir up emotions with Bahamians, but you have yet to give us a comprehensive plan that you have for Grand Bahama or the Bahamas. And so probably you should talk the right things, Mr. Michael.
Yeah, Shanique, Mr. Pintard laid out an illustrative list of what he feels are the issues or the things that the PLP government has failed to do in Grand Bahama since coming to office. A lot of people know that, what has happened and what has not happened in Grand Bahama. And he put it very eloquently and said what he thinks is wrong. And the PLP is on the ground because election season has drawn nigh. We're in 2026. And so they are on the ground attempting to do the things that they know are necessary to get them over the hurdle in Grand Bahama, take some of those seats, at least 2 to 3 of those seats, and let those seats help them to win the government. But I agree with Peggy. What Mr. Pintard needs to be doing, in addition to using his illustrative list of things that aren't done, is categorically say and list what the F&M has in store to bring Grand Bahama out of the economic doldrums. Yeah. We're not hearing that. We only heard what is wrong with Grand Bahama, according to the leadership of the Free National Movement. We need to hear now, this close to an election, we need to hear what are your plans for restoration. Exactly. And if you are just saying one side of the coin, then you're not going to win the 2026 general election. Grand Bahama needs results. Don't just talk about what you think the problems are. Let's hear the results as well.
Yes.
This is typical of what happens in an election there. I am disappointed that the hotel at the airport didn't go as planned over the last 4 years. And I guess people in Freeport has the right to be concerned about it because it's their welfare that is at stake. I'm hoping that the government and the cabinet is there now over these next 2 days would give some insight as to what is tangibly going to happen for the good people of Grand Bahama and Freeport in particular. So I'm hoping that these meetings, I saw in the newspaper today, there's a new man on the blocks with this company that has taken over the gin, or supposedly taken over the gin project.
Which project?
The gin. The gin.
Gin.
Well, that gin project was approved by the cabinet, which I was a member of in 2005 or 6. That's not a new project. That's a very old project that's been around for some time. And I'm hoping that there'll be a revival of that for the best interest of the good people of Grand Bahama.
That was a Christie project.
Let's hope that something tangible happens between now and the general election that is concrete, that is going to boost the economy of Grand Bahama, create jobs and opportunities for Bahamians. Because I believe the second city is deserving of each and every project that is available to enable them to live a good life. I'm all for the people of Grand Bahama.
Listen, we are absolutely, on this show, I have been a proponent of Grand Bahama and a few other islands, and of course the area of Maikal, certainly, obviously in their corner for their success. That GIN project, Leslie, was what year? Because that has been hanging in the balance.
2005, I think we approved that.
That has been hanging in the balance now for quite some time, and to see that it's been revived.
That was Obi Wilson project, God bless him.
To see that it's been revived and is now back on the drawing board, or perhaps it'll happen this time, but we want to see something tangible, not just an announcement. We want to see something tangible. We want to see it happening. We want to know the details of that heads of agreement, and certainly, of course, timelines. Certainly, of course, I'm sure the people of Grand Bahama are very happy for anything.
At least this time the government has a check in hand.
Oh.
A certified check on the project.
Okay.
I think some $1.7 million. So
sorry.
How many?
Let's hope that one goes through.
1 second, how much?
I think it's 1.6 million. It's a $4 billion project, or 2.6 billion. So let's hope that comes to fruition.
Okay.
And this is why the risk factor, it is too important. The number of projects that are in the pipeline, but the number of projects that already started, the number of agreements that are signed. It is too important for a second term to see these things come out of the ground, to see these things become reality for the economic community and for the people of Grand Bahama. The people of Grand Bahama deserve a break, man. And so we're pushing for Grand Bahamians that all the projects, everything that is promised to you, come to pass.
All of them.
And for God's sake, don't throw no party. Don't have no finger foods, no hors d'oeuvres, no chicken wings. Don't have no party.
Let everybody get their own meal in these next 2 days. Nothing but results. Meanwhile, you all, the air of anticipation in Grand Bahama is thick Of course, we all heard the Prime Minister is there along with, I guess, all his cabinet there in Grand Bahama right now this evening. We will have a news team there tomorrow and we will hear more. But the country's leaders expected to make a major announcement. I don't know if Leslie kind of beat them to it, but of course we are going to. We will have there's a resort development that has been resurrected. We talked about that GIN project a moment ago, but here's some more information on that.
A cabinet visit to Grand Bahama does not automatically produce jobs, transparency, and it does not erase months of silence.
FNM leader Michael Pintard hemmed by a group of party supporters as they took aim at the Davis administration's visit to Grand Bahama today.
Grand Bahamians welcome attention, but they deserve more than a photo opportunity.
On the other hand, Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Iram Lewis more optimistic about government's arrival.
I'm always happy with it when the cabinet is here, because my whole thing is the more they come, the more they find out exactly what's going on the ground. And I want them to be able to be successful at whatever their ventures, because it only benefits the people of Freeport, Grand Bahama, who've been suffering for so long.
And he seems to have guarded optimism as to what Davis will say.
I don't believe that they will go ahead and make another announcement without all of their T's crossed and I's dotted. So I believe that the next announcement will have to be, because you must learn your lesson.
Pintard, however, more critical, arguing that government continues to leave the island in a lurch.
If money was collected, show the proof. If the money was not collected, tell the truth. This property is too important to be treated like a political prop. PLP promised that phase 1, including the domestic terminal and U.S. pre-clearance, would be completed by April of 2025. Well, here we are in 2026 with no groundbreaking, no visible work, and no clear timeline.
Now, critics might argue that the resort and airport have both been mired in a political tug-of-war. Local Grand Bahama Church leader Bishop Kermit Saunders is holding both parties accountable as he calls for promises to be fulfilled.
I'm by no means asserting that this government is the cause. However, I believe successive governments, we've seen the same thing. And so I don't know what needs to happen, but definitely something needs to be done, because Grand Bahama contributes significantly to the financial economy of.
Well, there you have it, two different points of view, panel being expressed from persons in Grand Bahama. The leader of the opposition say, listen, enough promises. What happened to the airport? They certainly were supposed to be further along, or at least have gotten started by now. And then you have Iram Lewis, who is a COI who crossed the floor, as you all remember, to the Coalition of Independents. Say, listen, he just hopes it all works out, because it's in the best interest of every Grand Bahamian that it does.
And it's important for him and others, I wish Michael Pintard at that position, that it is good if it comes to pass, that it works out good for Grand Bahamians. It cannot, he talk about political prospering. What are you doing? Everything negative. There's no positivity. There's no hope in your voice. Because why? It is for political expedience. And so I very much appreciate Iram Lewis' position. And he sounds like a nationalist, something that is good for Grand Bahamians. He will support. Just make sure, like he say, that all your T's across your I's are done and that this one comes to pass quickly, expediently.
Janique, I saw some of the fanfare and some of the motorcade and stuff, the reception of the PLP party coming down to Grand Bahama today. And it looked impressive.
Yes.
But, what I wish that we'd seen was, bring your tractors, bring your heavy duty equipment, bring the human resources people to sign people up for jobs. This is what we need to see. If the Progressive Liberal Party is going to win 2 to 3 of these seats in Grand Bahama, they are going to have to stay on the ground. They did the right thing today. They're going to have to stay on the ground, because they are going to have to help those ministers and MPs on the ground, because what is happening in Grand Bahama is not just local. Grand Bahama, this has national implications.
Yes.
National implications in the election season in Grand Bahama. And so we could potentially see the wipeout of cabinet ministers and as well as MPs who are cabinet ministers. And so I believe this is one of the reasons why the Prime Minister and the contingent went down there today, and they're going to have to keep going down there as the election draws nigh, because you are going to have to fight this battle on both the local and the national level this coming election.
Well, you know what's interesting, man? Push comes to shove in another few weeks. Every man and woman going to be for themselves. You're not going to have no MP or no minister going to any islands trying to assist most of them, especially those who would have been elected before. You have a record to go on, and people are going to judge you on your record. It's either good, bad, or indifferent. And if you did a good job, you'd probably get re-elected. If you did a bad job, you'd probably be gone. But the time has come now where, when we had the by-election, everybody was there. When we had the by-election in Obi, my good buddy Stet, God bless him, everybody was there. This time, everybody's on their own. You got to win it or lose it for yourself. The good thing the PLP has going for it is that there's no hatred for Philip Brave Davis, and he's really the catalyst of the PLP.
Yes.
You know, so he's the one who's going to carry the burden psychologically in the mind of the average ordinary being, because he's an average ordinary person. And I said to the press in an interview last night that one of the greatest attributes that Mr. Davis has is the fact that he helps everybody. I mean, I know of so many high-end MPs, one of whom would have competed against him in Cat Island, that he would give assistance to and provide with some economic benefits, enable them to take care of their families and their commitments. That's just the poison he is. A lot of PLPs get angry at him for it, and a lot of them feel that they're supposed to get everything. But he's a man who's concerned about the welfare of all Bahamians, not only PLPs, but FNMs and everybody, because he don't see people in that light. He see a person in need, and he's going to go and help them. That's why we coined a name for him back in 1983. He was the go-to guy. If you got a problem, you go to see Philip Brave Davis, and he helped you to solve the problem. And that's the good thing that the PLP has going for it, voices the leader of the opposition, who really has little or no interconnection with the average Bahamian that's on the ground. The potcakes, the average ordinary man, who makes up 65% of your voting bloc. And that's who Mr. Davis catered to more than anyone else. So he should be in good shape going into the election.
Is it important, Leslie, Peggy, Howard, for the government to get it right in Grand Bahama? And I don't mean necessarily right the airport or even the Grand Lucaya. I'm talking just to see a difference, a change, and a momentum begin to happen and the wheels in motion in the Grand Bahama economy for it to have national impact.
Yes, Shanique, there must not be a delay between signing and the beginning of work. That long delay that we're experiencing with Grand Lucaya Hotel, it gives opportunity for doubt. And so whatever announcement they're gonna make tomorrow, hopefully within weeks, we see, like Howard said, we see big trucks and movements and HR sections up, and people are being hired and people are being put to work. But I wanna piggyback of what Mr. Leslie Miller said concerning Prime Minister Brave Davis. It is to the PLP's credit and advantage that Mr. Brave Davis maintained a high popularity among most people. If you recall, from 2002, we as a people voted to get rid of the leader, to fire the leader. Oh, this one gotta go, the next one gotta go. And that cry is not being heard by the majority of the general public. Mr. Davis still holds a high esteem, and most Bahamians, and like Mr. Leslie said, I can attest that he's a very forgiving guy. And when he see me, no matter where he comes, and he hold my hand, and I'm sure he's aware of my history. And so to his credit, Mr. Brave Davis continue maintaining a likability with the Bahamian people.
Yeah, and Shanique, to your question, I know Peggy and I would have a unique understanding of this coming from Eleuthera. You know, 30 years ago when we were growing up there, Eleuthera was in the midst of an economic malaise. And we know that prior to that, you know, it was one of the big engines in the Bahamas. You know, Eleuthera was booming. And then as I came into my formative years, and Peggy did as well, because we both grew up there, it started its decline, right? And so now it's bouncing back. So there's something about when you know of the good days and you're hit with the bad days, like that feeling and that understanding of knowing from whence you came.
Yes.
That is very important, and I believe Grand Bahama is experiencing that. They have to be made whole because this is the place that used to be the Magic City.
Yep.
I love going to Grand Bahama. You know, Grand Bahama was booming, the International Bazaar and all of these other places. I mean, it was just something so unique and so special about going to Grand Bahama. And these people know and understand, and they are proud. They know from whence they came economically, and there's nothing wrong with them wanting to get back there. They deserve this.
When we come back, Travis Robinson taking aim at Sebastian in Fort Charlotte. That's right. Travis says, listen, Fort Charlotte is not for sale. Is he speaking with the voice of a scared man? Or is he just saying and calling it like it is? Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
January means business.
Okay, guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. It's 10K. Name these games after me. Food Dragon.
Food Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Brunson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. I want to get right in, by the way. Thank you all so much. I love when everyone participates and wherever, however you reach out. So here's a message for you. We are talking about Grand Bahama, and we'll get back to Grand Bahama a little bit later in tonight's show. But get this, you all. We were talking about the economy and what's happening and what needs to happen if this administration is to be successful at the polls. Well, here's something for you. Shanique, when was the last time you heard a complaint from the taxi drivers in Grand Bahama they are now overloaded with work from Celebration Key. Call them and hear it for yourself. Leslie, your thoughts about that?
That's interesting. That we haven't heard from them in a long time. So, when things are going well, there's quiet on the waterfront, eh?
Yes.
And they're not saying anything now. But I trust that the meeting tomorrow goes well with the cabinet. As I reflect back on the late great Arthur Dion Hannon, Sir Lyndon Pillen, who ran the country for so many years and who did such a wonderful job in making our life what it is today. I think of the fact that the policy used to be, as I was chairman of BEC back in 1988, when the foreign investors come in, give these great pitches, they're going to spend $100 million, put up a hotel, or do this and do that. Mr. Hanna listens for about an hour. Then he gets up and he says, listen, gentlemen, nice project. Everything seems to be in order. Before we go any further, could you please make a deposit of $10 million to the Royal Bank of Canada with the government on yourself? And then we see how serious you are. That was the policy, that you don't want no riff-raffs coming into your country, wasting your time, giving you this beautiful scenery. I know that they don't have the financial capacity to get it from A to Z. We had enough of that in the 70s and 80s.
Well, see, I like that, Leslie, because obviously those men negotiated from a position of strength. They were not taking anything for granted, or they don't care how you come looking and how many thread count your suit
Put
looks
up
like.
or shut up, or get lost.
Put up or shut up. You heard that? How much thread count your suit has? They don't care. Wait a minute. But listen, we'll continue to watch this. But I want you all to pay close attention to this one. Take a look at these Facebook posts. They seem to be written by the F&M's Fort Charlotte candidate, Travis Robinson. Now, Robinson yesterday and today attacked the PLP's candidate, Sebastian. The first post read, well, this was this morning, you all. But the first one yesterday said, Fort Charlotte is not for sale. The second post, which was this morning, Monday morning, it says, Monday morning proverb, you are already spinning and ain't winning. Try your luck with Travis. Hashtag Fort Charlotte not for sale. Now, before you all jump in, I want to say this, and again, I love my live audience. Someone says, Shanique, for your information, Sebastian has been supporting, and when somebody says Sebastian, they obviously had a long relationship, right? Sebastian has been supporting Fort Charlotte for many years in the background, doing Alfred Sayre's tenure. It's nothing new. Now, you all, let's jump in, though. There's Travis Robinson. Travis Robinson all weekend taking aim at Sebas. How does this look? And how is this matchup shaping up?
It looks like a panic attack on Travis Robinson Diaz. It looks like fear's taking over his heart. I saw a post where there are startup kits given to young men by Mr. Sebastian for businesses, cleaning companies. So where is the exploitation? Is Travis Robinson comments suggests, where's the purchasing of vote? He's empowering. And this is what many politicians say, we want to empower you. And so for someone to actually step up and empowering, giving startup kits for small businesses, how are you purchasing these people? We are very grateful people. If somebody invests in my future, empowering me to be able to make a living for me and my family, I'm gonna vote for them. So Travis, you sound like you're having a panic attack. If I was advising you, I would tell you, sweetie, don't go that way. Don't go to them making a mockery of you. It's like you out of your league and it's closing in on you. The people of your constituency are being empowered. You should celebrate this. But I know it's politics. And I know it's a difficult thing to see your dreams being snatched away from you. But they're not being purchased, they're being empowered.
Howard, is Travis appearing nervous or is he being measured and saying, listen, Sebas, man, pull back a little bit?
Well, Shanique, I'll say, Travis is an intelligent young man, so I love the wordplay and the sort of poetry that he's doing, but it doesn't have any substance behind it. The reality of it is, Shanique, everybody knows that Sebas is a well-resourced individual and one of the wealthiest persons who is going to be putting himself forward in this 2026 general election. And I'm sure Sebas is in it to win. If you look at his background and his life, he is someone who has had to pull himself up by his bootstraps and he's tried to succeed in everything that he's done. And this is no less of an ambition for him. He is in this race. He put himself forward to win, and he's going to do that. He's going to use some of his resources that are at his disposal, his personal resources, and he is going to provide these opportunities. Peggy called it empowerment. I'm calling it opportunities, and they're the same thing. If Sabas did not use some of his personal resources to empower and to provide opportunities in that community that he's seeking to represent, he would be getting the criticism from some of these same people that he's stingy and he's mean and he's just looking out for himself and he's not doing anything for anybody. And so, Oz is doing what he has to do to help the people, to empower the people, to provide opportunities for the people. And if that brings him the victory for the PLP, then that's how it is. But Travis has to recalibrate, and he has to think about how he is going to come back and try to stave off Sabaz with the things that he's doing.
This perceived fight between the two gentlemen for Charlotte is an interesting one. I read a quote once that says, "Those who can, do, and those who can't, complain." Now, Travis was the MP for Bainton, if you all remember. And you can't say anything tangible and substantive that he did while he was there for those 5 years. He realized he couldn't win Bainton no more, so he switched and went to Fort Charlotte, not knowing that there was someone going to meet him at the gate before he entered into his throne. When I look at the fight in Fort Charlotte, I look at one man is on a spaceship going to the moon, and another guy is on a Western Air going to Fort Lauderdale. That's the difference between the two. You don't have to say anything else. Not necessary.
Shanice, but what I want the public to do is watch the Bass videos when he is giving presentations.
I tell you,
it is a personal gratification.
Justin and D'Angelo, listen, I sent you guys one, because I have not been really focused in. I've done a lot of Dr. Minutes, and we'll see something in a minute, but I have not focused in on what Sabas, and he's been very visible. I think you have brought to my attention quite a number of times, Peggy, about what Sabas is doing in Fort Charlotte to empower, to improve the quality of life, to make sizable investments into the
His
forward
community
movement.
center is going to be finished in a couple of weeks.
Community center.
Yes, right there,
in Fort
opposite,
Charlotte.
right there,
And Shanique,
on the main road.
I was driving.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful place.
Yeah, I was driving about a week and a half, and traffic was all up, and these big tractors was clearing out this land and working diligently, and I understand that is where the community...
I was in it.
Yeah.
Nice place, beautiful
so
place.
I will pass by tomorrow to take some pictures for
The
you.
government has nothing to do with that. That's his money he's spending on behalf
And
of
see,
his future constituents.
going to what we talked about and made a lot of what this political season is about, quite frankly, Bahamians are looking for candidates I don't care which political organization, but one who have vision, who can resource that vision, and who can help enhance their quality of life.
And who's going to assist them in the uplifting of their life.
Absolutely. There's that video. You all could just play it. We don't need to hear it. Just play the video. There he is.
We are now 2 months into our Pit Road revitalization project, and we've already refurbished about 8 and 10 of the homes here. Dignity is restored, quality of life is enhanced, and it's an ongoing project. And the residents are excited. The residents feel rejuvenated, and most importantly.
And so there you have it. Thanks, guys. Thanks in the back. So there you have it. That's just one. Peggy, and I thank you for many times bringing it to my attention. I don't always discuss it, but you always fill me in on what's happening in Fort Charlotte and many other spots. But there's this man in this area called Pit Road, where it looked like a community cabana, where they can gather and have events and socials or just sit and talk. But their homes being refurbished and renovated. Just again, there's a path. That's going to be there like a sidewalk for persons to perhaps just be able to exercise and walk without having to be on uneven pavement. But this again, listen to me.
But he's using the young men. He say if you have a need, a home repair, and you have a young man in your home, I'm going to provide you with the necessary material, but the men in your family got to come step forward and do the actual work. And so he's making a big difference. He's encouraging people to get involved with what is taking place, and so they can appreciate the value of the work that is going to revitalize that area. And like I said, look at his face. This is not political. This is self-gratification.
Well, you saw
He's loving it.
You saw the message a minute ago from one of our live viewers who said, Shanique, this pouring into Fort Charlotte did not just start. This has been going on for years. Howard?
This the area where he grew up, or close to the area where he grew up. And so the thing about it is, Sabah, let's look at this as a microcosm of Grand Bahama. We're saying the government needs to go to Grand Bahama, and the government needs to provide the engine that is going to move the economy there. Sabah is doing that in his little sliver of the Bahamas, that is the Fort Charlotte constituency, and he is not even the elected representative. And he is already beginning the proverbial drumbeat towards empowering and providing opportunities. This is what we've been calling for. This is what we said that the Bahamas needs to move forward into this next 25 years of the 21st century. This is the kind of representation we need. If you don't have the idea, if you don't have the money, you need to have the ideas. And when you have the ideas, you need to be able to attract the people who are going to help, who are going to be able to help you to provide the resources for the ideas. And Sabah is doing that on all fronts. And, you know, say what you want, but tangible things are happening in Fort Charlotte for someone who is not even the elected representative as yet, right? If that is going to be the case. And you have to give him kudos for that.
Yes.
So listen, you all, we will take a break, and when we come back, listen, we already talked about Grand Bahama and how things are looking there with the cabinet being there over the next 2 days. But there's an independent candidate there who made quite the impression last election, and turns out just this weekend, he made the announcement that he shall be running once again. Yes. We will talk about that, but before we get there, we look at Dr. Minnis and see what is he doing. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
He's staying in his constituency, or he can move?
No champagne. No.
The Bahamas is the premier destination for fly fishing because of its unique geography.
We've got the third largest barrier reef in the world in the Bahamas.
We have the largest aggregation of mangroves in the Western Hemisphere.
Which simply means we've got the largest marine biodiversity than anywhere else in the world.
I am unapologetic about Bahamians being owners in our #1 industry.
We should not just say, we should have it enacted into certain policies.
The Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association was instrumental in the 2017 sports fishing legislation. Anyone fishing in the Bahamas who's going to be guiding has to be certified and licensed, and thirdly, they have to be a Bahamian.
And that is historic, in that a model of conservation and a model for Bahamianization has been legislated, the only one in the country.
But it also gives Bahamians the opportunity with a sense of pride to know that at the end of the day, I'm contributing to the development of my country and something they can pass on for generations.
The out island of Bahamas, there are no other alternative industry that generates the kind of revenue that fly fishing does. The entire community benefits.
I would always encourage the tourists, people who want to fish, hire a local guide.
The guides in the Bahamas are some of the best trained fly fishing guides in the world. You know it because you see the results in terms of the kinds of fishing they're doing. They're catching the largest bonefish, the largest tarpon, largest permit. That is unique. So this is the lure to all the anglers internationally coming who thinks of the Bahamas as #1 destination for fly fishing and saltwater.
I'm really excited about this initiative that SPTC has brought forth for the fishermen.
If you have great guides and terrible boats and engines and nothing working and all this, you could be the best in the world. And people still have a terrible experience because they could not have a good day on the water.
I think one of the greatest things is to have access to quality capital, but not only having access to the capital, but terms and conditions to the capital, so we encourage growth and expansion of the industry and professionalism within the industry because of the resources being at hand and having proper guidance.
It'll be a greater impact and they'll have a better experience.
And I foresee it being an opportunity that the guys are taking advantage of in terms of the opportunities for education, awareness, and resources. You always need to advise people, inform them, and then equip them. And so I think this process is essential because it allows those skill sets that are needed in a changing economy and environment, how they could then keep up with operating their small business.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, and so we're going to continue as we get into the independent candidates. You all saw Freetown's Andrew Blue Johnson announced officially that he will be contesting the Freetown constituency as an independent candidate. Well, many people are saying, former Prime Minister and Killarney MP, Dr. Hubert Minnis, when are you going to announce your independent run? And I want to ask the panel, does Dr. Minnis need to? Now, if you all have been watching very, very closely, Dr. Minnis is dominating social media with any number of messages, whether it's something that entertains you and engages you, or many times, and what he's been doing recently, and you all spoke of during the break about the fact that Dr. Minnis is also, there he is with that afro. I listen, there was Dr. Minnis as a young man. But so Dr. Minnis was here, this addressing many of the things that perhaps he didn't get an opportunity to when he was Prime Minister. And so he takes a lot of time on his social media to do that, but also to kind of hit on things that are trending and things that are going viral. And the Bahamian people are eating it up. But Peggy, your thoughts, does Dr. Minnis need to announce? I mean,
yes,
he does.
Yes, everybody is announcing. As you mentioned, Mr. Andrew Blue Johnson, he had a big event announcing his independent candidate. Michael Pin, Fred, what is his name? Michael Pine. I'm sorry, Michael Pine.
No, we'll get to there. Shh, we get there in a minute.
Yeah,
yes, go ahead.
Okay, and so it's important that Dr. Minnis, you've been stringing us along with your fabulous PR for months now. One thing that I've noticed that you're answering and explaining yourself about your previous life as Prime Minister of the Commonwealth. You're not running to be Prime Minister, you're running to be re-elected in Killarney, where you have a reputation of being a fabulous member of Parliament. And so I say stick to the positive. And yes, we want to know for certain and for sure, Are you running as an independent candidate? We're speculating. We're looking at your PR, and we say, you know, he looked like he running. I think it's about time, sir. It's about time. Throw your big event. Wave your stuff. You came out to Blue event. I saw you there. Now let's see you making your announcement. I think the time is now.
Well, Shanique, unless Dr. Minnis joins another party, he is definitely not going to be the F&M candidate. So he would then have to run as an independent candidate. I think one of the things that we are not thinking about collectively in why Dr. Minnis has not indicated that he's going to run as an independent yet is this, and I'm going to hazard this guess. For all intents and purposes, we know that the last 2 times that the F&M had a convention for leader, 2 or 3 times, Dr. Minnis's name was on the ballot, right? The last 2 times he did not prevail. So where am I going with this? The minute Dr. Minnis announces that he is going to be an independent candidate, what is going to happen
The F&M will go
is
to
that
convention?
the heaviest hammer is going to fall down on Dr. Minnis, because per the constitution of the F&M, once you announce that you are a candidate against that party, and I don't know, maybe the PLP has the same type of language, then you cease to become a member of the party. So the leadership of the party, I believe, will come down on Dr. Minnis very hard and strip him of all of the accolades and all of the pomp and pageantry that would be afforded to him as only the second F&M, the prime minister via the F&M party. Of course, those things are going to happen. He is going to be treated even worse than he has been treated before, because he would, cease to be a member of the F&M. So I don't know if he'll be able to go to council. I don't know if he'll be able to participate and be honored and all of these things. It could happen, so maybe that's why. I don't know, but that's a possibility.
But it's said that he hasn't been to council for many, many times.
Yeah,
I don't think...
Hey, not going to council and not being able to go to council are 2
I don't
different
think he
things.
can. They cannot rewrite history. It's history in the F&M. It's history in this country. He was the leader. He became the prime minister. Those things are sealed. I think, like you referenced the many conventions that he was defeated as leader. I think that is clear. Dr. Minnis stand out on his own, and he has taken a single road, and he's been making strides in his constituency. And so being membered as a Free National Movement member, I don't think it'll make any difference to his future movements. And his future movements, Mr. Minnis, Dr. Minnis, need to be known. What you into, sir?
We all are aware that he's going to run as an independent, right? So that's a bygone conclusion. I think right now Dr. Minnis is between a rock and a hard place. If the F&M coalesces, especially in that constituency, I believe that they will do, he will probably lose that constituency. It was cut. They took away some of his strength in that area. And in the 3-way fight, he's like to lose. Remember, the last person that went to Parliament as an independent was Tennyson Wells, God bless him. That was about 30 years ago. Okay?
Did
you don't
run against him?
No, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. You don't go and win no seat in a 3-way fight with the 2 main parties. Okay? It's going to be very, very difficult for Dr. Minnis to retain his seat with the cuts that they have made there. And if the momentum switches to the side of the young lady who is running against him, there's a 70% chance that he'd probably lose. But the problem is, he keeps referring to when he was the prime minister. And see, that's a psychological thing that is hurting the hell out of him. He's going nuts on that. Once you're prime minister, you always believe you are prime minister. So you keep reflecting on the time when you were there. But you're not there anymore, and you're never going to go back there.
Let it go.
So he just got, he really should have done the thing that Mr. Ingram, Right Honorable Hubert Ingram, told him. He really should have stepped aside.
Juan, I don't know, Leslie.
I'm saying, I'm really serious with this. Mr. Ingram would know about that. Because when Mr. Ingram lost in 2002, what he did, he stepped aside and went home. And he came back because the F&M needed him to come back to win in 2007.
And it never worked out, right?
And
Yes,
no,
it
he
did.
won in
No, it
2007.
worked out, exactly.
He won in
so
2007.
Exactly, so
Okay?
he came back
But-
after deciding to stand down. He came back
But
and he
Dr.
was
Minnis is
successful.
no Hubert Ingram, eh?
No, but
There's
wait,
only one
but-
Hubert Ingram.
No, but I don't
Just like
think
Yellow
Dr.
Pinley
Minnis has his,
and Perry
his
Christie.
sights set on being Prime Minister. You all feel as though someone who feels very energetic, is young, active, and still want to serve at the constituency level,
listen.
that he should not?
What is the purpose of him going back to Parliament? As a member of Parliament, being a former Prime Minister, it doesn't
I
work.
feel to continue to serve.
It doesn't work. That has nothing to do with it.
But he's
His constituency, listen, are mostly upper class Bahamians, black Bahamians that really don't need the government for anything. They can make it on their own. And, you know, when the transition came into effect, I was thinking about over the weekend, I'm thinking about my cousin there, leader of the opposition. If someone is against you and they're not going to adhere to the rules and regulations that were set down in your constitution, you know that they don't have your back. In a sense, he had no choice but to get rid of Minnis. Because Minnis just wouldn't give up. You know, and I thought what he did to Dr. Minnis was wrong in the sense that they used to go to the different constituents and tell them that he should not speak. You know, they did a lot of harsh things to him. But in reality, that's what politics is about. You either win or you lose. And to the winner goes the spoils, and to the loser, you get lost. And it's going to be very painful when this election takes place and he goes up to the plate to run for that constituency. And if he loses, then psychologically it's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. I'm telling you.
So should the possibility of not being successful at the polls this election season keep him out of the race, Howard, Peggy?
Well, Shanique, I really truly do think Dr. Minnis wants to continue to serve. Yes, he's been Prime Minister, he's been the Cabinet Minister, he's been an MP for 20 years now, going into his 5th term. He'll be running now. And, you know, when you get around those kinds of numbers, you know, in the Bahamas, people start thinking of it's time for you to go. You know, and Dr. Minnis is, you know, close to 70. I think he's between 65 and 70 years old. Over here in the United States, man, people are just
getting started.
People are just gearing up to run for governor. And
that's why you end up
Senate
with a psycho like Trump, you know?
I think age should have no bearing on someone's ability.
So here's the thing, I agree with Leslie that, I agree with you that Dr. Minnis wants to serve, but I also agree with Leslie that Dr. Minnis would like to be the Prime Minister of the Bahamas again. You don't be the Prime Minister and hang around and just be an MP.
Fellas beating on you all the time, man.
Years. He wants to be the Prime Minister again. That's what
I
think.
I do
think that we
What's
are
that
going to be the Prime Minister.
Why would it not be? Once you've been to the mountaintop, you don't go back again.
He wants to continue to serve the people because he enjoys doing that. I believe that.
But the power is
y'all
gone.
just made it even more important at this time for him to tell us his decision. Is he?
Well, he's running. We know that. He don't need to say anything.
No, but officially he needs to. We all can say that.
Respect you, Raylene.
I'll tell you. I think he looks good. Who knows exactly? And of course, when his campaign really ramps up, we'll see how that looks. We will be watching all of it.
And the PR people, you'll stop the writing in his face now.
The PR people on point. Listen, social media is loving it. But
what
listen,
are they writing?
You all are, but you need to go on his social media and see. Trust me, you can't. It is fast. But listen,
he look good with the afro now, Shanique.
That afro is big as this. I tell you, that afro is here.
Afro?
Dr. Minnis afro. You ain't see it? You ain't see the afro? Yeah, he had an afro. He had an afro as a kid, but as a young man. There it is. Let's leave it back. That's Dr. Minnis, I tell you. I don't think that's a wig. I tell you, right? Leslie, you say you had an afro like that?
Yeah, bigger than that.
Oh, yeah? Man, I tell you,
I can bring you a picture.
I will see it. I need it. When I get the picture, I can show you all. But listen, you all, let's look at Frederick McAlpine. He figured he performed quite well the last election, and he says he is putting his foot or his toe or throwing his hat in the race once again. All of it. We get the story from Devontae Han and then come back and talk about it.
You could be disappointed on it.
A seemingly charged Frederick McAlpine, who after 4.5 years of near silence is rearing his political head for another run at Pine Ridge as an independent candidate.
We're ready to take our backpack on the track throughout Pine Ridge.
Launching his campaign on social media last night, Marco Pine promising excitement, hope, and accountability. He first won the seat in 2017 under the Free National Movement before leaving the party and running in 2021 as an independent candidate. It was then he lost to Ginger Moxie by a slim margin, just 248 votes.
Be ready this time.
His announcement comes as the political scene is heating up in Grand Bahama, with the Progressive Liberal Party getting ready to interview prospective candidates. Tonight, businessman and engineer Robert Grant revealing he hopes to bear the PLP's flag in West Grand Bahama. This after being denied the nomination in the 2023 by-election.
But I'll tell you this, every time I didn't get the nomination, I was invited by the other parties to be their candidate, by the Free National Movement, by the DNA, by the Labour Party over the years. And I refuse. You know, my parents were the founders of the organization in Grand Bahama.
A legacy PLP and son of former Senator Austin Grant, the hopeful plans to inspire an economic revolution in the community.
But people want to know how to invest, where to invest, why to invest. So all these Bahamians who have these bank accounts who are full with money, yes, we could create jobs among ourselves. I am sick and tired, and I'm sure you're sick and tired, of seeing foreigners come to our country and absorbing.
Thank you very much, D'Angelo. Of course, you were telling me during the story, just you all, I tell you what he was doing. Shanique, you're out of time. Hurry up. So let's just, so there you saw that, you saw the story there with Frederick McAlpine saying, listen, let's just talk about the McAlpine factor. Very quickly.
There was a McAlpine factor, remember? He came second. And in the race, the three-way race, he beat the FNM, and he was very close to the PLP because McAlpine history as a member of parliament, he served his constituents well, and so they stood with him. They parted company for the most part with the Free National Movement and some from the PLP, and so I believe McAlpine has kept connected to his community, and he's excited. And you know what was impressive? The crowd in the room when he made his announcement. So McAlpine is one to watch, and if he's a spur, like he said, he come to win it all, and so we are following Mr. McAlpine.
Shanique, we've seen some interesting independent races shaping up out there, and this is really the first time we've been talking about McAlpine. Peggy is absolutely correct. Here's the breakdown in the 2021 general election. Ginger Moxie, 1,423 votes. McAlpine, 1,175 votes. Wellborn Boodle, 886 votes.
Oh, that was a tight race all around.
Yes, it was. And I think this is going to be the most interesting race in Grand Bahama. I noticed that the news report said McAlpine officially announced his campaign after 4 years. I can tell you, I know the man personally. I've known him for several decades now. McAlpine officially announced his campaign recently, but he has been in that community working ever since he lost that seat. So
okay,
this one is going to be very interesting.
Jump in.
You know, the PLP would have been better off recruiting McAlpine than having him in that race. He's going to be the spoiler. Because whatever shift is made, he's going to get the benefit of it. And I trust that even this lady, they could try to accommodate him. If not, that lady down there is going to be in trouble. McAlpine is a very popular person.
Yes.
He's a stand-up man. He tells you the way it is. He's fearless. And people love him. And he's I don't know. He's
going to be an interesting
he's a dangerous man.
one to watch.
Very dangerous.
Listen, we certainly, of course, we're going to be watching it. And when we get to temperature check, I tell you that's going to be where it is. By the way, temperature check is back in February. Absolutely. But I thank you all so much. I want to get to something, but I'll do it tomorrow evening. Grand Bahama, I see you. I tell you, Cassie's job was in Grand Bahama last week, and a vendor sent a message. And I also see the messages coming in. I will share those tomorrow evening. But I thank you all so much. And meanwhile, though, Hot Topics panel, I thank you so much. Leslie Miller, Peggy Candace, Howard Johnson. Thank you so much this evening for being spot on, for being very, very responsible and objective in your opinions and your thoughts this evening. And of course, a big thank you to all of you tuning in. Thank you so much. I enjoyed having you along and look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller, making a great evening, everyone.